Stop reading the labels on those TVs: LED, QLED, Mini LED, OLED. These 4 acronyms, concocted by 4 marketing departments, try to make 4 fundamentally different technologies seem like different versions of the same thing, but they're not. One of them is a technology that should have been phased out years ago. Another is an expensive design process applied to cheap hardware. Another is a variation that has prevailed in certain categories, and one of them is the reason all the other technologies on this list exist as a compromise. Today we're breaking down all 4, starting with the technology you should never put in your cart, until we've settled this question once and for all. By the end of this video, the abbreviations on store labels will make real sense to you, and a salesperson's misleading information to sell you a TV will never confuse you again. If you've ever stood in a store feeling completely lost while a salesperson bombarded you with tech jargon, subscribe. We're here to fix exactly that. Let's start from the very bottom. Technology number 1, and the one you need to understand first so everything else makes sense, is standard LED, represented here by the Sony Bravia 3.2. Standard LED is the foundation of the modern television industry and the reason so many buyers end up disappointed. Here is the basic architecture. A single backlight assembly sits behind the LCD panel and shines through it uniformly. The entire screen is lit by one light source. When a pixel is supposed to be black, the LCD layer tries to block the light. It never fully succeeds. The result is that black on a standard LED television is not black. It is dark grey. It is the backlight bleeding through a layer that cannot completely stop it. There is no local dimming in standard LED, no zones, no sections that can be independently powered down while others stay bright. The light is either on or it is off for the entire screen simultaneously. The Sony Bravia 3.2 sits at the top of this category in 2026, carrying HDMI 2.1 ports and Google TV and Dolby Vision certification on its specification sheet, while delivering a panel architecture that belongs in a budget television from 8 years ago. What hi-fi testing confirmed, there is no local dimming hardware present. The Sony logo and the specification sheet language do exactly what they are designed to do. They create the perception of premium while the panel delivers the opposite. Sit in a dark room and watch anything with dark scenes on this television: a thriller, a horror film, a space documentary. The shadows will glow, the blacks will be grey. The letterbox bars on a widescreen film will illuminate the edges of your room with a faint, distracting light. Reddit users who bought the Bravia 3.2 for gaming describe the exact moment the Sony illusion breaks. Dark atmospheric environments, the kind where tension lives in shadow, look like they were rendered on fog. That is not a setting problem, that is standard LED physics. Subscribe if understanding this one technology just explained a disappointment you have had with a previous television. Technology number 2 is basic QLED, represented here by Samsung The Frame 2026. QLED stands for quantum light emitting diode, but the word that matters is not quantum, it is the backlighting behind it. QLED is a color filter technology. Quantum dot particles sit in a layer between the backlight and the LCD panel, converting blue LED light into purer, more saturated red and green wavelengths. The result is significantly better color volume than standard LED can achieve. Colors are more vivid. The color gamut is wider. On a specification sheet and in a brightly lit store, QLED looks like a meaningful upgrade. Samsung The Frame is the 2026 consumer product that best illustrates the gap between what QLED promises and what edge-lit QLED delivers. The Frame is sold on aesthetics. When the television is off, it displays artwork and looks like a framed painting on the wall. The matte coating handles glare from overhead lighting. The customizable bezels match cabinetry. Samsung charges a significant premium for the design experience, and the design experience is genuinely well executed. The hardware underneath that design is edge-lit LED, no local dimming. The same fundamental architecture as the standard LED panel in the Sony Bravia 3.2, now with better colors, but the same structural inability to produce true blacks. Business Insider and FlatpanelsHD both confirm the edge-lit implementation without local dimming. Brenda bought the frame for her renovated kitchen, drawn by the matte screen and the painting aesthetic. She wrote in a product review that when she turned it on in the evening, the edge lighting caused the corners to glow visibly brighter than the center, and dark scenes showed exactly the grey, cloudy look she had been trying to avoid. She paid a premium to own a television that behaves like one. The QLED color filter is real, and it improves color quality meaningfully over standard LED. But without local dimming behind it, the contrast problem that defines cheap television remains completely unresolved. Now the technologies that actually solve the problem. Technology number 3 is Mini LED, represented by the Hisense U8 Series. Mini LED takes the standard LED backlight architecture and refuses to accept its limitations. Instead of a small number of large LED zones, Mini LED packs thousands of microscopic LED elements into the same space, each independently controllable. The result is a local dimming system granular enough to make real distinctions between bright and dark areas of the same image. Blacks are not perfect, but they are dramatically better than anything standard LED or edge-lit QLED can produce. A dark alleyway and a bright streetlight in the same frame can coexist with genuine contrast rather than the standard LED compromise where the bright object lifts the entire screen. The Hisense U8 takes this architecture and weaponizes it. 5,000 nits of claimed peak brightness with Mini LED Pro density that outperforms televisions at 3 times the price in a brightly lit room. For daytime sports, afternoon viewing with windows open, content consumed in any environment where ambient light competes with the panel, the U8 is essentially unbeatable at its price point. A viewer posted about watching the World Cup on the U8 from their sun-facing living room. They described the picture as so bright and clean that guests assumed they were watching on something far more expensive. Then the camera made a rapid pan across the stadium after a goal was scored, and 3 people in the room simultaneously noted that the players had blurred for a moment. That is the Mini LED trade-off at this price level. The hardware exceeds the processor budget. The panel can produce more visual information than the chip can render cleanly at speed. Static content and slow-moving footage look genuinely exceptional. Fast-paced sports, rapid camera movement and action sequences expose a processing bottleneck that premium-tier Mini LED panels solve with more expensive silicon. At the U8's price point, the silicon did not get the same investment as the backlight. Who is this for? The viewer who watches predominantly in a bright environment and prioritizes maximum visual impact over cinematic accuracy in dark scenes. Who should move on? Anyone who watches serious cinema after dark, or who needs clean motion tracking for sports as their primary use case. And now, the technology that all of this has been building toward. OLED, represented by the LG G6. And to understand why OLED wins, you need to understand the one thing that all 3 previous technologies have in common. They all depend on a backlight. Standard LED has one, edge-lit QLED has one, Mini LED has thousands of small ones. All of them are trying to solve the same problem, which is how to make a screen that can produce darkness and brightness simultaneously without one contaminating the other. Every engineering achievement in Mini LED, every dimming zone, every precision algorithm exists to approximate something that OLED does by default. OLED panels have no backlight. Each pixel is its own light source. When a pixel is told to be black, it turns off completely. The light it was producing stops existing. The pixel next to it can be at maximum brightness simultaneously, and the two do not interact. True black is not a calculation or an approximation. It is the physical absence of light in a specific location on the screen. What that means in practice is not a technical specification. It is an experience. Sit in front of an LG G6 in a dark room and watch something you have seen before on a lesser television. Not something new that you might find impressive for other reasons, something familiar. And pay attention to the shadows, the space between objects, the areas of the frame the director made dark on purpose. You will see detail you have not seen before because your previous panel was adding ambient light to those areas, whether it was supposed to or not. The craft that cinematographers and directors put into darkness on screen arrives intact on an OLED panel in a way that no backlit technology can fully replicate. Consumer Reports testing places the LG G6 at the top of their OLED rankings for 2026. Geek Squad's service call rate for the G6 is the lowest of any premium panel in their current inventory. The picture quality is the story, the reliability is the reassurance. The Truva Atta is real and worth knowing. The G6's anti-reflective lens coating produces a faint green color shift in bright white content when viewed from a sharp off-axis angle. Not a slight lean, a significant move to the side. AVForums confirmed this with spectrophotometer measurements. From any normal central viewing position, it is invisible. From an extreme side angle during bright content, it is measurable. If your room has a fixed viewer well to the side of the screen, know this before you buy. If your primary seating faces the screen directly, it is irrelevant to your experience. So which technology wins in 2026? For darkroom cinema and mixed content, OLED wins. For bright room sports and daytime viewing on a rational budget, Mini LED is the right tool. Standard LED and basic QLED without local dimming are the technologies the industry wants you to pay full price for because the margins are better. Now you know the difference. Subscribe and stay close because right now specific OLED and Mini LED models are experiencing massive price drops overnight, and the reason those drops are happening is not always in your favor. Some of them are genuine clearance bargains. Some of them are a manufacturer moving inventory before a known problem becomes public. The next video covers exactly which models are dropping and exactly why. If you buy anything before watching it, you are making that decision without the most important piece of information available. We will see you there.